And I got chillin', man. I treat my city like it is my fam. To the residents, it gets a building, man. Think I'm playing about, man. But
Seattle is the site, 62 degrees, beautiful sight. Lumen Field in the background where plenty of fans were there for the Seahawks-Bucks game, which was a thriller. Let's see what we have in store tonight. And we take a look at tonight's same-game parlay. It's available now on FanDuel. You see Julio Rodriguez at the bottom of that graphic right there. Tom Verducci has more on the young Seattle star.
Well, Julio Rodriguez is the puzzle the Tigers cannot solve. 7 games against Detroit. He has 4 home runs and 9 RBIs. The Tigers and the rest of the league used to get him out with changeups. Not anymore. Last year he slugged .239 against changeups. This year, .500. And included in that damage, this note apropos tonight. Tiger starter Tarik Skubal has thrown 918 changeups. Only 3 have been hit for home runs. One of those by, you guessed it, Julio Rodriguez. Adam.
Part of those 2 starts that Skubal had where the Mariners were able to get the best of him. Tigers will bring out the exact same lineup as we saw yesterday. So this is what we saw in the wild card series as well. Usually A.J. Hinch likes to make a couple of changes here or there, but he's going to keep the same lineup tonight against another right-hander in Luis Castillo. Traded to Seattle at the deadline in 2022. Helped this team break its playoff drought. He was the opening day starter the following 2 seasons after that. He's pretty much been the healthiest Seattle starter this year, and the elder statesman of this rotation gets to go tonight in a big start.
Yeah, Wilson said this guy is the rock of their clubhouse. He's the one that propels everything and makes everything go in there. You're going to see a great 4-seam fastball. This is in the top 95% of fastball in the game. This is a great fastball. He gets a lot of deception. Good sinker, a little bit of slider too. He used to throw lots of changeups, not so much anymore. We're going to see a lot of fastball slider tonight.
They call him La Piedra. That means the rock. He has that nickname for many reasons, among them the fact that he is the foundation for this rotation this season. Gleyber Torres had a double in last night's affair. He'll climb in and take ball 1 to start the night tonight at 5:03 local time on a beautiful Sunday night in Seattle. A 1-0 pitch, and Torres went around according to the home plate umpire. Tonight is Jeremy Rehab. Castillo deals and gets a swing and miss on that fastball. 1-2. One start with the Cincinnati Reds in 2020 in Atlanta. 2 starts on the road in 2022 for the Mariners in the playoffs. There's 2-2. Foul back. Didn't get a lot of run support in any of those 3 prior starts. That's been the case for Tarik Skubal in his postseason career as well. Runs at a premium is the expectation in this series. Torres stays alive by getting a piece of that slider.
You see that? He dropped down a little bit on that pitch. He changed his arm angle to create a little deception. Castillo, to see how much lower that is than normal. Had Gleyber way out in front.
Trying to put him away, and Torres makes it hard. Doing an excellent job with, as we've come to expect, a high quality at bat to begin the night.
Couple of foul balls right there. That's in the middle of the plate, but his fastball gets on you. It's 96 miles an hour. Got a little movement to it too, so you have to be ready for that.
Torres waves and misses at the off speed. It's a slider. So 1 down for Castillo. As we look at our keys to the game, they are sponsored by Genesis Motor America. Let's start with AJ. What do you got for Castillo tonight?
Play the match game. Castillo has to match Skubal early. Give the Mariners offense time to score some runs against Tarik Skubal and just be what Luis Castillo has been, and that's great at home.
Here's Kerry Carpenter. Waino, on your side of things.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking, you know, with Skubal on the mound, I don't know if they're going to be able to string lots of hits together. So when the hits that they do have, they need to drive them. They need to be extra base hits. They need to be home runs.
Carpenter had a home run for Detroit last night, and he takes a strike. His 2-run blast gave the Tigers a 2-1 lead in the 5th inning. Rodriguez's second RBI tied it. McKinstry's RBI in the 11th gave them the lead. And for the Tigers, it was 7 different relievers behind Troy Melton, putting together a strong pitching performance. A 1-1. Foul back, 1-2.
I think something to look forward, Wayno, and correct me if I'm wrong here. Castillo has done really well against Detroit because he throws a lot of off speeds. He throws them for strikes. Detroit hits the fastball. You saw him punch out Torres with a slider. He has multiple off-speed weapons.
Uses one here, and Carpenter fights off a slider that was coming around his feet. This is his 8th career start, AJ, against the Tigers. 2-4, but a sub-4 ERA. Again, not a ton of run support in some of these starts. It's only given up 3 home runs. And the strikeout to walk ratio, 49 Ks to just 8 walks against the Tigers lifetime for Castillo.
And this year, though, he was 2-0.
Yep.
Right. One of those wins came against Skubal.
Yep.
So he's done a nice job against the Tigers, despite the record.
2-2 again. And the slider misses, 3-2.
You see him trying to attack down right here. We know you talked about it yesterday. Kerry likes the ball up, middle and up. And you saw the defensive swing he made when he threw it close to the plate.
Tried the inside corner with a fastball, and Carpenter draws the walk. There's the defense behind Castillo tonight. Same lineup as yesterday. The only change is the designated hitter. So it's Arozarena, Rodriguez, and Robles. Good arms in center and right. Suarez, Crawford, Polanco, and Naylor. The corners were the big additions in late July. And Cal Raleigh, the Platinum Glove winner last year, behind the plate. Here's Riley Green taking ball 1 up and in. 2 for 5 last night in game 1. Now a 2-time All-Star, just like Luis Castillo. That's 5 straight out of the zone now for Luis. So Green, who is susceptible to the strikeout, is ahead on the count quickly on the right-hander. Green launches it, but hooks it foul.
And these lefties, much like we talked about last night with George Kirby, the lefties for the Tigers have to do the damage because the splits for Luis Castillo, he dominates righties. So the lefties, Carpenter, Green, in this lineup, Colt Keith, Meadows, have to do the damage.
Green fouls it back, and it's 2-2. Wayno, you were kind of jarred by seeing the difference between what lefties and righties have done.
Yeah, it's a tremendous difference in his whip and his OPS. Look at that, 814 to 586 OPS. Huge difference in the whip, and it's also a difference in home and away, same way.
Green goes the other way, left center field. Arozarena just a few steps over for it. Back to first base goes Carpenter. League average in OPS this season was right around 720. So 2 down for Spencer Torkelson. Two for 11 in the opening round. 0 for 3 last night, but walked twice, including in the 11th. He scored the go-ahead and eventual game-winning run.
A little bit early on, we see him kind of yanking that fastball. Needs to get way out front. Extension out front with that front arm. He's getting a little quick with his front side. Just needs to drive that through the catcher's mitt.
There's a fastball on the corner.
That was better.
But for me, see that P next to his name? 22 already. With the bullpen that was used heavily last night,
Yep.
he's already at 22, and we're not even through the first inning. Even if the Tigers don't score, this is a good inning for them.
Just off the corner as he tried to get Torkelson to chase a little further out of the zone that time. 6 different relievers for Seattle yesterday behind George Kirby. They combined for 6 innings of work. Torkelson waves and misses at a fastball, and it's 2-2 with 2 down in the first inning.
Can see he's late. No reason to go to the off speed here, is there?
In the air to left was a slider, went with the off speed. It is a Rosarena. Torkelson's retired. Castillo looks to the heavens as he leaves a man stranded, and the Mariners are coming up in the bottom of the first. Tarek Skubal will go to work against this Seattle Mariners order. A little bit of a change as they push Polanco and Suarez up. Naylor moves down to the 6. Mitch Garver is now in as the Mariners will face a left-hander in Tarek Skubal. Garver takes over for Canzone in that DH slot. Tarek Skubal, another fantastic season. Cy Young Award winner last year, the front runner for it this year, won the Triple Crown a year ago too.
And taking the ball every start. You see his changeup is actually his most used pitch. You're going to see a lot of changeups and a lot of high-octane fastballs.
As he deals to Randy Arozarena and misses outside with a fastball. 0 for 4 in game 1, but did have a walk and scored the run in the 6th inning. That was driven in by Rodriguez to tie the game. Arozarena takes a strike.
That pitch right there is the key for Tarek Skubal. A.J. Hinch even mentioned it. The fastball into these right-handed hitters of the Mariners, because they've actually done some damage off changeups.
That is banged through the middle. A base hit on a changeup. So Arozarena starts it off for Seattle. Let's take a look at our Fox 4 site. It's powered by Google Cloud for Tarek Skubal, locking in on this young budding superstar. Strikeout numbers were insane this year again.
59% to record 7 strikeouts. Second in MLB this year in strikeouts and 11.1 Ks. Hey, this guy can strike you out. He can get you out. He's the best in the game right now.
And facing one of the best in the game. These are the matchups that everybody has their eyes on when they're looking at a lineup card and they look at the pitching matchups. It's Raleigh, the 60 home run star, against Tarek Skubal, now batting right-handed against the lefty.
I think they're going to be very aggressive today against Tarek. He walked 33 people this year in 31 starts. It's a remarkable number, especially for a high strikeout guy like that. It's crazy awesome.
Career high 195 innings for Skubal at just 33 walks. Raleigh waves and misses at that slider upstairs.
See, if I'm a hitter, I'm being ultra aggressive against Skubal. 71% first pitch strikes, the best in baseball. Why are you messing around? You don't want to get into 2 strikes off this guy. All of his pitches can punch you out. I mean, he hit 138 with 2 strikes. So I don't want to get to 2 strikes. I want to try to hit something before I get to 2 strikes. So yes, I agree, Wayno. I would be ultra aggressive if I was the Mariners.
60 home runs this season for Raleigh. Most by a switch hitter, most by a catcher, most by a Mariner. 1-2. Upstairs, and it's 2-2. It's quite the jump this year, too, for Cal Raleigh, who had solid power. It was prodigious this year. Two-two pitch. And the count runs full.
But that is a great take right there. I think if the fastball before that was a little lower to get him offering at it, that might have had a different effect on it. But what a great take right there.
3-2. Waved on and missed on the changeup. Opponents hit just 154 on that pitch this year. He had 110 of those strikeouts on that pitch.
Just too good. 3-2, he's got 99 in his back pocket, and he is so far out in front of this just because you don't want to get beat by that 99. And Scooble just, and the best part is it's perfectly placed.
Yeah.
So here's Julio Rodriguez. Takes a strike. Solo home run in the 4th, and then the RBI in the 6th yesterday. You heard Tom Verducci talk about how he has tortured Detroit pitching this year. He has a home run against Rodriguez, against Scooble as well. That one was coming inside on him, and he fouls it back. 0-2.
That's how Scooble's going to try to attack Julio Rodriguez. Not let him get his arms extended. Keep the ball in on him if he can. So far, you've seen 2 pitches, 2 fastballs in. He took one, and he got beat by that one right there. Now it opens up the changeup, opens up the back foot slider, the high fastball. Here are the first 2 pitches to Julio. This one is a strike. That's the second one. That's the one that beats him. And then that one, the last one was a mistake. He tried to go in there again. Luckily, it was 99. Be careful.
0-2. Man, you could see the movement on that pitch. We're very fortunate and lucky to get to do this job sitting in the seats that we sit in, and you can see the nasty movement on that slider from Scooble. Rosarena at first, 1 out in the 1st. 0-2. 1-2. Rodriguez fouls it back. Fighting off these fastballs.
There's a tricky thing about going in there a lot, though, AJ, because a lot of his home runs come when you're trying to drive it in there and you leave it over the plate. Just like yesterday when the ball didn't get all the way in on him and he drove it out to center. You better get it in there if you're going in, though.
Rosarena goes, swung on and missed, throw down to second, tag not there. Torres tried to swing that down on Rosarena. Scooble had to duck out of the way of that dingler throw. They get the strikeout of Rodriguez, but now Rosarena in scoring position.
I thought they were talking about interference because Julio goes across the plate. I don't think Dingler hit him, though. That was one of the things when I was catching. It's a good slider, kind of a hanger that Julio's out in front of. But we were taught when you see a guy go across the plate like that, just run into him and make contact so you can get that free out.
Watch Scooble here. It's the deck.
Did you want to make a point about how pitchers are athletes off that play too?
Well, hey, it's
was
coming
pretty athletic.
90 at your head.
It was pretty athletic. Here's Polanco. Swings at the first offering and pops it up. McKinstry's there, and after the lead off of Rosarena single, Scooble having to duck, dip, and dive and dodge out of the way is able to duck and dip out of that first inning. Still scoreless in Game 2 from Seattle. The 11-inning 3-2 victory yesterday was A.J. Hinch's 999th between the regular season and postseason as a manager in Major League Baseball. A win tonight would put Detroit ahead 2-0 in this series. Meanwhile, Dan Wilson in his playoff debut as a manager yesterday. Got plenty of experience, obviously, in big-time postseason games as a player. Took over as a Seattle manager last August and is a Mariners Hall of Famer. Ball and a strike on Colt Keith, a return from a rib issue yesterday, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes on the big swinging lefty.
Of course, both managers are former catchers.
Yes.
Because we know catchers are the best athletes and the smartest people on the field.
You've always said that many, many, many times.
But
I'll give him a second.
Yeah, you mentioned, though, him playing in all those games. It's such a different feeling when you talk to these guys because there's no control.
Yeah.
When you're playing, you're in it. And when you're not playing, you're just nervous and butterflies because you can't control anything.
2-2 pitch to Keith, runs it full. Just try to guide, make the right decisions, make the right moves, the tactician nature of this job, and then hope Payoff pitch to Keith, and he works a leadoff walk. Leadoff man is aboard here in the second against Castillo. Not the tallest guy by any means, but he doesn't get all the extension necessarily, but it's the generating of torque
well,
to be
he's
able to draw it.
6'2". I mean, he's not short, but this just goes to show you that you can't cookie cut all pitchers to be the same. And people chase after extension. It's not exactly the most important thing. Luis Castillo, 6'2", shortest in the game. Shortest extension in the game. He basically picks it up and puts it down.
There's the rubber. He lets it go here, and that is short. Most guys are out here.
Dingler swings away and pops it up back a second. It'll be Polanco, and he's got it for the first out.
So again, if you watch Luis Castillo and we talk about extension, he's the shortest in baseball, which is crazy. Rubber's here, he lets it go here, and most guys are about right there. And then you have Logan Gilbert, who's like all the way over here, right?
Yeah, the Mariners have the shortest and the longest in all of Major League Baseball, and Logan Gilbert longest and Luis Castillo shortest.
Here's McKinstry. He's had a productive postseason already with a couple of late game RBIs.
Would that mess with you as a hitter if, let's say, they were back to back? If Logan Gilbert and Castillo were back to back, would that mess with you as a hitter with so much different extension?
I can honestly say that when I played, I didn't even know what that was.
Yeah. You weren't thinking about that.
No, because it wasn't a thing. All these measurables that are kind of new, you never knew about it. But there was guys that they said, oh, he only throws 95, and it's weird because he almost lets the ball go behind his head. It looks like Castillo, but there was guys, oh, he throws 95, but it plays 98, or this guy throws 88, but it plays 92, and that was because of the extension and the induced vert that they call it. Now they have all these terms. We didn't have that. We just said, man, this guy's a tick faster than what you expect when you face him, or you don't see the ball as well, or there was just different terms. But now you can measure all that stuff.
I imagine that some folks, since we're in Seattle, would think of Randy Johnson. He was so tall and he had that long stride, so he already threw hard, but because of that extension, it felt like it was on top of you way faster, right?
I remember seeing an overlay of Randy Johnson and Nolan Ryan and how different they were to both throw 100-mile-an-hour fastballs, and it was staggering.
3-2 on McKinstry. Another full count in this second inning for Castillo.
So do you send the runner here? They didn't. Do you send the runner 3-2 with Javi Baez on deck? Try to maybe stay out of a double play, or you think you play it not? Colt Keats is not the quickest guy in the world.
There goes the runner. The pitch is low, and it's ball 4. So they did send Colt Keith that time. McKinstry draws the second Castillo walk of this second inning. And now Baez will come up with a man in scoring position. This is a spot where the Tigers were unable to execute the way A.J. Hinch wanted them to. They were 2 for 11 yesterday with runners in scoring position. They left 8, but they got the big hit late in the game from McKinstry to drive in the go-ahead run.
A little atypical control issues today for Luis. But I talked to him yesterday, and to your point earlier, AJ, his arm slot is definitely a little lower today than it has been. He's chasing a little bit more movement.
Bunt shown that time by Baez. He fouls it into the glove of Rowley for a strike.
Bunt for a hit, Javi Baez. We just showed A.J. Hinch. This again, we talked about it last night. 3 hitters in a row. We need 3 hitters in a row to do stuff.
Nothing in 2.
With the 2 walks, here's a chance for their 8 and 9 guys to drive in a run, have good at bats, be productive.
Keith at second, McKinstry at first via the free pass. 0-2 pitch. Big jump for Baez this season as he is playing his 41st career playoff game. He and Gleyber Torres have added some veteran postseason experience. Baez the last couple of years and Torres this year. 1-2 from Castillo is outside and low.
Doesn't it amaze you when Javi Baez is up, how far Cal Rowley sets up outside to try to get him to chase? Those pitches are so far outside, but in the past, Javi Baez has chased those pitches.
He gets a piece of that one. It rolls in front of the plate. It is a fair ball. Raleigh was able to grab it in fair territory. They throw to first to get Baez. Keith and McKinstry advance. And now there are 2 down for the 9-hitter Parker Meadows. Raleigh will check on Castillo here. While we have a moment, a quick word from FanDuel.
Make baseball come alive when you bet live this season with FanDuel.
Again, another big spot in this game 2 in the early portion.
You think this is a strategy meeting, or this is there's a righty on deck? We're in the 2nd inning here. There's a righty on deck. Parker Meadows 2 for 5 off Luis Castillo. Or do you think this is more of a game plan? Because it was kind of a strange meeting to me right there.
I think they're trying to decide how aggressive they want to be right here. Like you said, 2 for 5 off him with the righty on deck.
Tigers looking for more runs with 2 outs. Meadows fouls it away.
Apparently they want to attack him.
They're going right after him. I mean, Gleyber Torres behind him is 1 for 15 off of Luis Castillo. So they know those things. Just seemed like a strange time for a meeting.
In there for a strike. 2 on, 2 out in the 2nd. And it's 0-2. This is going to be the 48th pitch already for Castillo, trying to put it away in the 2nd. Did not go, according to Alan Porter, the crew chief and third base umpire. 2-2.
I didn't even think this was close. The crowd thought it was. Maybe a little closer than I thought, but he still didn't swing.
Deuce is wild. The pitch. Fought off by Meadows, who had a quality at bat yesterday in the 5th inning. Got a single on an 8-pitch at bat and was able to score on that Carpenter home run. Did a nice job in game 3 against Cleveland in the wild card out of the 9th spot after he had been the leadoff man the first 2 games. 2-2 pitch. Meadows fouls it away, and you see the runner at 3rd and Colt Keith dancing all the way down the 3rd base line when Castillo deals.
I was just thinking, man, the longer they can extend these innings early on, as many pitchers that had to pitch in that game yesterday, this is a huge advantage if they can get him out of this game early, get that pitch count up.
Exactly what I said in the 1st inning. Even though they didn't score, 25 pitches. Here he's in his 26th pitch. He's going to be over 50. Not even through. Now, if Parker Meadows cashes a run or 2 in here, it's a great inning.
Meadows waves and misses. Fox Super 6 is sponsored by DraftKings. 15 pitchers used in game 1 last night. 7 by Seattle, 8 by Detroit. How many will be used tonight? Eugenio Suarez leads it off for Seattle in the home 2nd against Skubal. 0 for 4 with a couple of strikeouts yesterday. Suarez back with the team he was with a few years ago to break the playoff drought. Now returns after traded at the deadline. Ball and a strike on Suarez.
Gino Suarez is up there for one thing and one thing only. Try to go deep. Strikeouts don't matter. He's looking for that one pitch, and he is trying to get the good swing off and deposit the ball over the wall.
He lines one out towards center, but it's playable for Meadows. 1 away here in the 2nd. That'll bring up Josh Naylor, who moves down to the 6th spot tonight. Now the bright yellow kicks on this evening, does Josh? After the sparkly blue ones last night. Those are solid too.
He's got 150 to choose from, so.
Options always important. Swings at the first pitch and bounces it to his counterpart. Torkelson will run it to the bag, and one pitch to get Josh Naylor. Quickly 2 down for Skubal here in the second.
Wait, how much as a pitcher did you love first pitch outs? Especially if you're a guy like Skubal and the Tigers who are counting on him. We showed all the pitchers that were used last night. Bullpen's a little depleted from last night. First pitch outs are godsends, aren't they?
Oh yeah, man. There's nothing better. Nothing better than a first pitch out for a starting pitcher.
Here's Mitch Garver, who jumps into the DH spot tonight against the lefty, and he'll take a strike. Part of a World Series championship with the Texas Rangers 2 years ago. Had a few home runs during that World Series title run. Quickly behind, 0-2. Just 6 pitches so far in this inning, and a chance to finish it off quickly for Skubal.
If he commands the inside part of the plate like that, you spoke about earlier, AJ, that is going to be a tough night for those Seattle hitters. Just sets everything else up so well.
Garver fouls it away.
Oh yeah, 99 at the top of the zone too. I just don't know how you game plan against Tarik Skubal because he has so many options and he can throw it where it needs to go. There's so many lanes he has to get you out.
Or he can just throw 99 right by you for another strikeout, his third in an 8-pitch 1-2-3 frame. Tarik Skubal pitched in college not too far from the Space Needle over at Seattle U. He's in Seattle tonight. So are we. We're scoreless. To the third we go, scoreless in game 2. Top of the Detroit order has Gleyber Torres taking a strike from La Piedra, the Rock, as Castillo is known. While his mom was pregnant with Luis's dad had gone to cultivate the family's crops. They lived in a rural area of the Dominican Republic, and when he came back, his pregnant wife was on the ground dealing with a bunch of pain and contractions. Swing and a miss from Torres, gets the out. Just like that, his third strikeout of the day. So they see Luis's mom laying on the ground in pain, so Luis's dad and his grandmother load her into the family truck, and there's this custom in the Dominican Republic. You would place a rock on the mother's forehead to relieve her pain. That was the thought, that the stones would relieve the pain that you were dealing with. So that name always stuck with Luis Castillo. And then when he went to Cincinnati, he was throwing fastballs at like 97, 98 during a bullpen session, and his catcher came up to him and said, "Man, you're like a rock up there, man." That name stuck with him, and that name has stuck ever since. Here's Kerry Carpenter fouling one away, and it's quickly 0-2 on another Tigers hitter.
What also helps that he takes the ball every 5th day.
The foundation.
Consistently, yeah.
Yep.
You can count on him. He's rock solid every 5th day. Luis Castillo will take the ball and give you a quality start most of the time.
That name has fit the last few years. Carpenter loops one on a tough hop to second, grab by Polanco. Excellent defensive play by the veteran.
Closes his eyes. Watch. Oh, no, he didn't. No, he didn't. He kept his eyes. That was a great play. Most of the time when we show those replays, you see the eyes close a little bit. Polanco did not, and a nice pick.
Riley Green will take ball 1. Two-time All-Star Riley Green, career-high 36 homers this year. 1-1. Castillo leaned into the Rock nickname so much to the point where, you know that famous photo of Dwayne Johnson from back in the day? He has the turtleneck, the chain, the jeans, the fanny pack, and the watch. He dressed like that for a commercial. Riley Green skies one to center. Rodriguez is there to finish off a 1-2-3 Castillo frame that took just 9 pitches. La Piedra getting it done. Tarik Skubal and Luis Castillo off to solid starts in this game 2. Scoreless to the bottom of the third, and Victor Robles leads it off for Seattle and fouls the first pitch back from Tarek Skubal at 98 on the fastball. It's about as hard as we've seen. We also saw Skubal throw 100+ several times, even late in his affair against the Cleveland Guardians in the wild card series. Robles was hurt most of the year. He takes the ball upstairs.
I was talking to Jack Flaherty about Skubal. I'm always interested in like the really good pitchers. What are they doing on game days? Is he like, because the way he competes on the mound, I thought nobody's getting near him in the clubhouse. He's super intense, and that's not how he is.
Robles had a dance of the way, out of the way of that fastball. 2-1.
He said he's playing, you know, he's playing cards, he's doing his crossword, he's chatting it up with guys. And I mean, that's kind of atypical for your #1 pitchers out there.
I would say it's a little bit more typical, though, of what we've seen from the Tigers over the course of the postseason. Yeah. They were on the road. They had to muscle through that month of September, and they've been loose. They've been in very high spirits, at least when we've been around them, and that was the case in Cleveland last week, too. The 3-1. Robles fouls it away, and it's full.
But to your point, Wayno, when we go in the clubhouses, I'm always nervous to talk to starting pitchers. You always kind of stay away from them.
Oh, yeah.
And Skubal came in today. I just kind of locked eyes with him, and I was kind of given the, and he just looked at me and smiled and gave me a fist bump, and I said, good luck today, and he said, thank you.
Tried the corner, and Robles takes a 100-mile-an-hour fastball for ball 4. So the leadoff man is on base for a second time. Speaking of that start at Cleveland, there are the 14 strikeouts. All of them were swinging, and then all 3 strikeouts we've seen tonight have been of the swinging variety.
17 strikeouts in the postseason. All 17 are swinging strikeout. That is kind of mind-blowing to me in itself, but that's just, my stuff's better than yours. Here it is, hit it.
Crawford takes a strike in the 9th spot.
And it's also, they know that he throws strikes, so they're going to be aggressive, but it's just, he has that kind of swing and miss stuff. I don't think I've ever seen something like that.
Crawford fouls one into the Detroit dugout. Hopefully everybody's all right down there. You see Skubal's reaction. It was to the far end of the dugout, and the guys on the top step all bailed out of there. 0-2 on Crawford.
I think it got Paddock, Chris Paddock. That was the guy that ran down the steps. I hope he's all right.
One of Detroit's pitchers. We do have a great camera crew here in Seattle. They inform us that he at the very least had a smile on his face, so that's a good sign. 0-2 to Crawford, and he muscles that one foul. He emerges like a phoenix rising from the ashes.
You know what we used to call those when the ball went in there? Ugly finders, no matter who it was.
Whew. Watch out, everybody.
That got him.
Runner goes. Crawford swings and fouls it away. Robles will head back to first. Oh, and he's got the ball too. It's like, I'm keeping this one.
Starting pitchers always have a ball in their hand.
Good point. Well, I mean, we've got one up here too for you.
That's right. They always have a ball. They're always working on their grips like that. But that one might have a smudge on it.
Runner stays. Crawford swings and misses on the changeup. 18 strikeouts in the playoffs, all swinging from Skubal. That's his 4th of the night tonight, and his 2nd on the change.
It's ridiculous, left on left change. You just don't see it as a left-handed hitter very often. That ball starts out, you're thinking 99 out of the hand, and it just, the velocity and the movement get you.
Here's a Rosarena.
Inside.
Randy singled to start off the Mariners in the 1st. This is the 2nd time that the Mariners have had the leadoff man on base. So now 2nd time through the order for Tarek Skubal as Robles takes his lead. 2-0.
I'm surprised. I think the Mariners have something on Skubal. We saw Rosarena steal second. Robles had a great jump earlier when he tried to go. If I'm the Mariners, I'm pressing the accelerator here if we got some to try to keep the pressure on him and steal bases.
Breaking ball, he went around. Rosarena gets rung up on that one by the home plate umpire, Jeremy Rehak. There's the check and a disengagement.
So many times it's the little things. You can see right when he starts his delivery, his right foot has a little bit of a heel. He brings his heel up off the ground, and sometimes those are giveaways, and there's always a coach looking for that kind of stuff.
Robles bluffs from first. Rosarena takes a fastball strike.
Mark Burley, you mentioned there's tells. Mark Burley had one of the best pickoff moves in the history of baseball as a lefty, and he gave it away with his back foot.
This one fouled back towards us. Still 2-2.
And he gave it away with his back foot, and he had the pitching toe on his back foot. And and certain teams knew if his toe came up first, he was going to first, right? And so he had to take a Sharpie and color it in because it was shiny, especially in the lights. So he would take it and try to make it as dark as possible so you couldn't tell.
Rosarena taps it foul, still fighting it here.
People might say, like, well, why didn't he just keep his toe on the ground or something? But that messes with your whole delivery, and so you don't want to do those things if you don't have to.
Well, if you're throwing to first too, you have to raise your toe because your weight has to go back.
Yeah.
If you're going home, your weight stays over your knee.
Otherwise it'd be a balk, right?
Exactly.
Robles is leaning. He's been doing that the whole time, not necessarily to indicate that he's going, but that is just him leaning towards second base. So Skubal has disengaged now twice to throw over. Remember the rule changes a couple of years ago.
Go. He's not throwing over a third time. Go.
Robles stays. Rosarena skies it to left. Riley Green, Rosarena's left field counterpart, makes the catch for the second out, and back to first goes Robles.
And why do I say go? Tarik Skubal knows how good his stuff is. He's not going to throw over there and take a chance of him going to second. But he did slide stuff, so he did change it up a little bit to make it quick. But first move, just go. Once he went twice, I would have went. But I also was slow and would have got thrown out by 25 feet.
Here we go, round two tonight in game two. Cal Raleigh against Tarik Skubal. And the runner at first and 2 out. First pitch towards short. It's caught. There's Baez, and the inning is over. Leadoff man gets on for a second time. Skubal retires the next 3 in order again.
Welcome back to Seattle. I'm with Tigers manager A.J. Hinch. 3 innings against Luis Castillo, no hits, but if there's any consolation, 16 foul balls. What do you see from your hitters?
Well, I think we're seeing the ball pretty well. Obviously making some tough at bats. He had a quick 3rd inning, but the first 2 innings we made him work really hard. We just missed the big base hit. So, you know, this next time through the order, it's going to be interesting to see if he pounds his own, and do we get a good pitch to hit.
Tarik Skubal sets the bar so high. Pitched around 2 leadoff runners first 3 innings. What do you see early from your ace?
Yeah, you know, one of the things about Tarik does is that we can really rely on him to throw first pitch strikes. Puts a lot of pressure on their offense. They either got to decide to hit, or if they don't, he gets ahead and he pitches great in leverage.
Thanks, AJ.
Got it.
Thanks for the time from A.J. Hinch and Tom Verducci. It is Spencer Torkelson and the middle of the Tigers order here in the middle innings against Luis Castillo. A ball and a strike on Torque, who flew out to left his first time.
This is a really big inning for Castillo right here. If he can have another quick one, he's back on track.
Had a quick one in the 3rd. Just 9 pitches against the top of the Detroit order after 51 in the first 2 frames. I imagine, at least covering baseball, it always felt like if you're around somewhere between 13 and 16 pitches an inning, you were kind of on a decent track. Is that fair? Is there a number that you were trying to stay underneath? As this one's lifted out towards center, and Rodriguez. 1 down.
Yeah, I always try to keep the first number in my pitch count matching the inning that I was in.
Okay.
That was a game I played with myself. But the first 2 innings, 8 of his 9 batters had at least 5 pitches thrown per. And that last inning, 9 pitches total. He needs another short one like that if he wants to go deep into this game. He's on the right track now.
There's Colt Keith, first pitch swinging, and it's popped up foul.
And it's interesting because you want if you're the Tigers, you want to stay aggressive in the zone, like AJ said. But you don't mind if you see a few more deep counts and you see some foul balls and you see some close pitch takes. You know, that plays into their side of it as well.
Getting change for the umpire here. So while we have a moment, we'll get a quick word from certified financial planner.
Yes, I'm a CFP professional.
CFP professionals are committed to acting in your best interest. That's why it's gotta be a CFP. Find your CFP professional at letsmakeaplan.org.
Castillo to Keith, 0-1. 1-1. Six in a row retired by Castillo since the walk to McKinstry in the second. It was a 2-walk frame. Breaking ball is golfed in the air to right. Robles is over, and he's got it. 3 straight flyouts induced during this 7 in a row retired stretch for Castillo. 2 down. So Dylan Dingler will come to the plate. One of Detroit's best road hitters this year. And an OPS up over 860 away from Comerica Park. Castillo had some pretty drastic home road splits, as is common. I was asking our buddy Aaron Goldsmith, the great voice of the Mariners, who's here tonight as well, give me a comparison. This is my first time actually being this weekend at T-Mobile Park. He said, this place is to pitchers what Coors Field is to hitters in Colorado. Out to center field, Dylan Dingler lines out to Rodriguez, and another 9-pitch Castillo
back
frame.
on track.
Pacific Northwest evening in Seattle, bottom of the 4th in Game 2 of this American League Division Series. Heart of the Seattle order against Tarek Skubal. Julio Rodriguez leads things off.
Oh no!
And takes ball 1 upstairs. He held back on the slider. Just a single and a walk. Both batters stranded after they led off the 1st and 3rd by getting on. And it's 1-1 on Rodriguez against Skubal. Skubal, 28 years old, originally from California, but moved to Arizona in his high school days. 2 balls and a strike on Rodriguez. Now a 2-time All-Star. He's led the American League in ERA each of the last 2 years. Triple Crown winner last year. Had a shutout this season, one of just 13 in Major League Baseball, complete game shutout. Rodriguez lifts it towards right. Coming in is Carpenter towards the line. It will fall foul. So 2-2 on Rodriguez, and that takes us to our pitcher profile. On Tarek Skubal, it is sponsored by Bosch. Oh, look at the hair for Tarek Skubal, who had to battle through a couple of injuries, a couple of Tommy John surgeries while at Seattle. There was a point in his college career where he thought that he and his parents could not afford to go to college anymore. He was planning on going to his college coach and telling him that he was going to have to leave school before he could even come up with that sentence out of his mouth. His college coach had offered him more scholarship money, and that allowed him to stay in school at the one place that even wanted him coming out of high school in Arizona. 2-2 to Rodriguez. Inside, and it's 3-2.
Well, if he came out of high school these days, he'd have a plethora of options. He could have went anywhere, and even after a year or 2 at Seattle, he could have transferred and probably made a nice living on some NIL money.
Sure.
Because he told us the other day, what was he throwing, 85 out of high school, and then 88 to 90 his freshman year, and it just kept growing and growing.
He's growing into one of the great pitchers in the game today. His 50th pitch of Game 2 to Rodriguez is popped up on the infield. Torkelson wants it. He's got it. We've got Tom Verducci down to the field.
Yeah, the story of how he wound up in Seattle is pretty amazing. He went to a tryout camp, a showcase on a Wednesday night. He's from Kingman, Arizona. He drove 3 hours to Phoenix. He hit 91. That was the hardest he had thrown a pitch in his life. He got a lot of interest from D1 schools. They said, come back on Saturday. Well, between then, on Friday night for his high school team, he played in a football game. Typical Tarek Skubal. He was a center on the football team. The next morning he gets up, drives 3 hours back to the tryout. He's exhausted. He throws 84. Everybody dumped him. Didn't want him anymore. The only card he took home that day was from Seattle. He told his dad, I don't want to go there. He said, son, call them. He said, that's the best decision that I made. The rest, of course, is history.
Polanco sends this to left, and that ball is history. Jorge Polanco grabs the trident after his first playoff home run in 6 years. Suarez takes a strike, 1-1. And just like the Mariners did last night with Rodriguez, they start the night of scoring tonight with a solo blast in the fourth. 2-1.
Well, the key to that at bat for Jorge Polanco was he was ahead 2-0. So one thing Skubal does is normally jump ahead of hitters. Fell behind Polanco 2-0. Threw a 2-0 slider, and Polanco did not miss it.
Hit a home run in the 2019 playoffs at Yankee Stadium off longtime Seattle Mariner pitcher James Paxton. On the outside corner, Suarez goes down looking. First strikeout looking in the playoffs for Skubal. Polanco could look at this one a long way.
Just a slider, doesn't do much. 2-0 right down the middle. He's ready. He's aggressive for it. And he doesn't miss it. A.J. Hinch did tell us before this series that Polanco has done a lot of damage against them over the years. But that is a nice swing.
All those years for Polanco in Minnesota, decade in the American League Central with the Twins. All 12 of his playoff games have been played with Minnesota until this division series. And he goes yard off Skubal to make it a 1-0 game. Big swing from Naylor. It's 1-1. Home runs play in the postseason. That was the case last night. 2 home runs in game 1, 1 apiece. Facing all this top line pitching. 1-2 on Naylor.
Mariners rely on the home run almost as much as they're second in Major League for home run reliance to score runs. Last night they only hit 1. The key for them is to hit 2. If they hit 2 in a game, their record is they're almost unbeatable. They only hit 1 last night and lost. They're up 1-0 on Tarek Skubal with 1 home run.
Only the Yankees have a slightly higher percentage of home run reliance than the Mariners this year. Those are the only 2 teams at 50% or above. Naylor goes chasing on that slider, tailing away. That finishes off the fourth, but some fireworks in the frame, courtesy of the 32-year-old Jorge Polanco. A resurgent season of 26 home runs this season. After Julio homered last night, he hands the baton, or in this case, the trident, to Polanco. 1-0. Postseason, check out the largest selection of authentic jerseys, caps, hoodies, t-shirts, and more. MLBshop.com for your favorite postseason team gear. Polanco, homer in 19, homer in 23 in the postseason, and now does it tonight. His first Mariners playoff home run puts Seattle in front for Luis Castillo, who's been able to get 7 outs over the course of the 19-pitch stretch after a rocky start. McKinstry lines it out to left and make it a 1-pitch out right there as Arozarena grabs it to start off the 5th.
Tigers are just letting Castillo just get right back into this, aren't they, AJ?
9 in a row now retired by Castillo. The only 3 base runners came via the walk in the first 2 frames. He stranded Carpenter, McKinstry, and Keith thus far. Baez waves and misses out of that little 2-seam sinker. Ball and a strike.
You see the great movement on his sinker. It's got 4 more inches of movement side to side and down.
And then there's the slider to back it up.
And that slider, it doesn't have when you have a sinker that moves into the righty like that, a slider that going the other way, it doesn't have to have nasty movement to be such a great contrast.
One-two. Baez did not chase that time.
But that's exactly where he wanted to throw that right there. It starts right on the corner. If Javi's being super aggressive like we know he can, he's going after that.
AJ, to your point, you were saying that Baez has been a little bit more judicious this year. That's why your average jumps basically 70+ points from one year to the next. He only struck out 1 time in 11 at-bats in the wild card series. And he watches that one off the plate. Impressive takes that time from Baez, and he draws the 4th Castillo walk of the night.
That look is surprise. He can't even believe he walked Javi Baez.
But I mean, to your guys' point, I mean, I watched this guy in Chicago for all those years. He was with New York for a little while. He would always chase those pitches. He was so aggressive. He's moved closer to the plate this season, and that has certainly helped him cover the plate and maybe see some of those pitches a little better this year.
Well, and he also has the ability to do it. He's done it. Javi Baez has been less aggressive at times. Remember he had the one great year, 2018, when he got traded because he cut down on the strikeouts, cut down on the wild swinging. He can do it, but he also feels like it takes away some of his aggressiveness, which is a Javi Baez thing.
He was the MVP runner-up that season to Christian Yelich in 2018. Two 2-0 on the 9-hitter Parker Meadows, who will take a strike. So Castillo's about to throw his 80th pitch of this ball game. Seattle's bullpen sees the solid left-hander Gabe Spire loosening up. Maybe a little earlier than you expected. On the ground towards second. Polanco flips. Crawford throws, not in time. Meadows, the fastest Tiger on this active roster, is able to beat out the slowly developing play. Polanco with a good move to his right to get the lead runner in Baez for the second out.
That's the second great pick we've seen by Polanco at second base today. Look at this. This is not an easy play. Full run. Good flip. The flip is as equally important, isn't it, AJ?
It is. It gave him a chance to try and turn it. They're not going to turn it on Meadows. He's too fast, too slow developing, but that was a really nice play by Polanco.
So now third time through the order, it's Torres at the top of the Tiger lineup, and he swings and misses.
He's had no chance against Castillo. Castillo's just throwing him those high fastballs. Glaber keeps swinging at him, and he hasn't hit one yet. And Spire's up for Kerry Carpenter. We had the same situation last night.
Yep.
Dan Wilson had Spire up, didn't bring him in. He hit the home run. Tonight he's not going to make that same mistake if the opportunity arises.
We asked Dan Wilson again, who was making his playoff debut as a manager in this series, what have you picked up just in time over your course of a playing career and as a coach and then as a manager from other playoff series that you've watched or you've got advice? And he goes, I understand that you have to be willing to be aggressive, and that's not always Dan Wilson's nature to be as aggressive as you might have to be sometimes in the playoffs. Runner goes, and it's fouled away by Torres, 1-2. 30 playoff games played. Only Edgar Martinez played in more for Seattle. Wilson was part of the last division title win in 2001 as a catcher. 1-2 pitch. Fouled away again.
Glaber's trying, isn't he? He's just trying to get to that high fastball. They keep throwing it up there, and he keeps swinging at it.
Runner goes again, and right through the right side, and Meadows is going to go first to third. Perfectly played by Torres. With the runner going, that dragged Polanco, the second baseman, a little bit towards the bag, opened up the hole even wider. It's first and third for an aggressive base running team in Detroit. And Dan Wilson is going to be aggressive with the choice after the first Tigers hit of the night against Castillo. Our call to the bullpen is sponsored by AT&T, and the first reliever in back of Luis Castillo will come in for a big situation. Left-hander Gabe Spire, who's one of the elite lefties this season, is going to face the left-handed power hitter Kerry Carpenter, who went to his manager A.J. Hinch earlier this year and said, I want to hit against lefties. He'll have his chance after Castillo exits to this great ovation. First time that Castillo got to pitch in front of a home crowd in the playoffs in his career. Now he gives way to Spire with a tying run at third in Meadows. Carpenter swings and launches it foul down the line. That's a pulled foul ball with a broken bat. Big smile from Castillo, who was unable to finish 5, but only allowed that one hit. Did spread out 4 walks, including 1 in this inning.
Nice job by Luis Castillo. Max Skubal, like we talked about, is one of the keys to the game. He's one-upped them right now so far, having given up a 0 spot in the runs column. But Dan Wilson learned from last night. He's not going to let Kerry Carpenter in the same inning in almost the same situation face the starter for the 3rd time. Brings in the lefty.
Carpenter hits a strike at the bottom of the zone, and it's 0-2, and another huge pitch in the first half of this game tonight. One and two.
AJ, if Torres doesn't get the hit through the hole right there, do you think he lets him face Kerry with just a runner on first?
No, I do not. I think no matter what happened right there, that was his last hitter.
Yeah, I tend to agree.
Dan Wilson wasn't going to have to answer the question again why he didn't bring in the lefty to face Kerry Carpenter and Riley Green.
Green on deck as well. And then after Torkelson, another lefty potentially for Spire to face.
And Spire went an inning and a third last night, but he only threw, I think, 13 pitches, 12 or 13 pitches last night.
13.
Yeah, to get through 4 outs. So, yes, he got 4 outs, but it was very efficient.
Pitched the scoreless 7th yesterday. The 1-2. Got him! Dan Wilson gets aggressive, brings in the lefty, and Spire does the job for his buddy Castillo. Pitching is the identity of this Mariners roster, and Castillo and Spire get through the 5th inning unscathed. A couple of 30-plus-year-olds on this Mariners roster. Keeps it 1-0. Skubal back to work against the bottom of the Seattle order, and Garver slices one out towards right field. Long run coming in. Carpenter makes the play. Kerry Carpenter charging in to save a play and get the first out of this 5th inning.
Nice play by Kerry Carpenter. He went a long ways. And Mitch Garver's swing can sometimes fool you because you see the big swing. He caught it off the end of the bat a little bit. Carpenter makes the nice sliding play.
Carpenter struck out against Spire to end that last inning. Makes a nice defensive play to start the home half of the fifth. And now Victor Robles takes a strike from Skubal. So that's now 4 first pitch outs against Skubal tonight.
Inside.
This inside and high, 1-1. Broken bat, fly ball, shallow left center field. Another long run to make, but Meadows has the speed to get there. That knob of the bat separated.
Tarek's done a good job since the home run of just getting back to doing what he does. He didn't let it affect him. He's still making pitches. That was a great changeup right there after 2 great fastballs in. You could tell he drove the first fastball in perfectly, missed with the second. But you can still have those great effect pitches up and in like that, set up that changeup away perfectly.
Crawford takes a fastball strike. There's an 0-1. Bunt, trying to get aboard with a hit. Oh, trying to flip it was the second baseman, Torres. He had no other shot because Crawford laid down a great bunt to the right side and has plenty of speed to bust it down the line, and he's aboard.
It's a great play by J.P. Crawford. A great bunt, perfectly placed. I didn't know that Glaber needed to do this. I think he had more time than he thought he did. It was worth a shot though because it got us a chance to get that great camera angle, but it's like a punt today at the Seahawks game across the street.
And there weren't that many of them today with the high scoring affair over there.
I don't know. I don't know if he can get him, AJ. You think?
I don't know either, but I think it would have been a whole lot closer than throwing the balloon ball over there.
Now back to the top for Seattle as Skubal faces the Mariners' order for a 3rd time now. Rosarena has one of the Mariners' hits, one of their 3 tonight. Polanco's home run the difference. 1-1. Pulled foul, 1-2. A chance to get out of this inning with nothing doing for Skubal.
I love the way that they're pressing the issues though. You know, they had the runner in motion earlier. They dropped the bunt. They're playing small ball. They're trying to do everything they can to manufacture 1 or 2 runs. That's what you have to do against great pitchers.
Great pitching in a pitcher-friendly ballpark. In fact, going back to 2001, Sarah Langs had a great note. 7 consecutive games, playoff games, in this ballpark going back 24 years that have featured 6 or fewer runs, including last night. Rosarena goes down on the changeup. After a 2-out bunt single, Skubal finishes the inning to the 6th, 1-0 Seattle. Top half of the 6th inning, Game 2 American League Division Series. Jorge Polanco's solo home run for Seattle is the lone run so far. Gabe Spire will face Riley Green. Spencer Torkelson, the right-hander, and then another lefty in Colt Keith to follow. Struck out Kerry Carpenter, did Spire, to close out the 5th inning. And he's quickly ahead of Green, 0-2.
It'll be interesting how long Dan Wilson stays with Gabe Spire. You have Riley Green here, lefty. Then you have Torkelson, righty. Then Keith. And another righty. I think he would at least stay in through Keith, and then they'd have to figure it out from there.
Not much stirring right now in the Seattle bullpen. It is Spire's game for right now. He's for the next few. Up foul, and it's still 1-2. See Bizzardo just kind of standing around and chatting. Perhaps the first right-hander we may see out of the bullpen for Seattle. 1-2 pitch. Green swings and misses on a fastball. One away in the sixth. You can play the Fox Super 6 MLB Playoffs Challenge. Download the Fox Sports app right now and enter for free for a shot to win your share of $10,000 in cash prizes. See the Fox Sports app for details. One away for Torkelson, who has flown out twice tonight against Castillo, now facing the lefty. Ball one.
The lineup construction for Detroit makes Dan Wilson's options very interesting because it's right, left, right, left, right, left, and then the whole way through. So it is tough. You have to make these decisions, except for Carpenter and Riley Green. Those are the two lefties back to back. AJ Hinch doesn't mind that because they're their two best hitters really on this team. So, but the rest of the lineup, right, left, that's why you see Dan Wilson looking at his lineup card, figuring out where am I going to go next.
Every decision so magnified at this portion of the year, too. 1-2 on Torkelson.
And what he's trying to figure out is then when he gets back to Carpenter and Green for their next at bat, which could be the 7th, 8th, or 9th, will they have a lefty ready, and that would be Caleb Ferguson.
Then you have a pinch hitter on deck potentially in Wencel Perez, a switch hitter. 1-2 pitch again, and again fouled away. There is Perez, who can hit from either side. Jahmai Jones and Perez both ended up pinch hitting in that DH spot in game 1 for Colt Keith. Both of these teams are pretty good when it comes to platoon advantage over the course of the year. 1-2 again, and this time it's in play, too short for Crawford. And a stretch by Naylor. They retire Torkelson, 2 down. And indeed, it will be Perez coming up as the pinch hitter for Detroit. So Keith with a walk and a fly out for a second straight game. He's pinch hit for. This time it'll be Perez first. And the pitching coach is Pete Woodworth. He will come out to give a quick scouting report to Spire. We'll give you a quick scouting report for the rest of the week for this division series. NLDS doubleheader tomorrow. Dodgers and Phillies after the Dodgers took game 1 on the road. Meanwhile, the Brewers look very sharp against the Cubs at home. That'll be on TBS tomorrow. Then we'll be back at it the day after on Tuesday when we go to Detroit and New York for those two division series. Big time offense in the first 2 games from Toronto. Blake Snell is scheduled to go for LA in game 2. Now Bizzardo has a ball in his hand. Perez climbs in and takes a strike.
It was interesting when pinch hitters come in. They're really taught to be super aggressive with balls in the strike zone. He just takes a fastball right down the middle, first pitch there.
Outside.
Now off the corner, 1-1.
Well, this is a matchup that actually AJ Hinch likes. He's much better against left-handed pitching. Wencel Perez is. So you're trying to force Dan Wilson's hand. Dan Wilson sticks with Spire here to face Perez.
Who pops it up? Polanco is over. He calls off Naylor and squeezes to finish off the top of the 6th. Spire retires all 4 he faces. 1-0. Bottom half of the 6th inning, Seattle 1, Detroit 0. There's Tarek Skubal's pitch usage tonight. Fewer changeups than maybe you might expect, but that has a little bit to do with his knowledge of this Seattle offense, of which he has to face some very good hitters in this 6th inning, including Cal Raleigh, who takes a big cut at a fastball to start the frame.
Well, the changeup usage is down because of what AJ Hinch said. The Mariners have done a good job against lefty changeups, so they're trying to make an adjustment. The one mistake Tarek Skubal has made, though, slider that Polanco hit for a homer.
Raleigh holds back, 1-1. Polanco will bat in this inning. He's due up third after Raleigh and Rodriguez. A strikeout and a lineout tonight for Cal Raleigh. After 3 hits last night, which went to all fields, he used the whole field. Big cut at a slider, and it's 1-2. And a swing and a miss on a fastball. 8th strikeout of the night. And there's one away here in the 6th inning of this Game 2 of the American League Division Series. Adam Amin, Adam Wainwright, AJ Przinsky, the World Series champions, Tom Verducci, and our great crew. Guys, your thoughts so far from what we've seen? 1-0 game. This is what we expected throughout the series. Runs at a premium.
One mistake. That's it. That's the difference in the game. The one mistake. Luis Castillo matched Skubal so far.
Rodriguez lines out to first to Torkelson. 2 down.
And we said that if the Mariners are going to score runs today, they're going to have to make they knew they weren't going to get tons of hits. They had to make their hits count. They have 1 run. It was a home run.
And now Polanco, who is the difference in this game, will climb back in against Skubal.
Well, the one thing that teams have done, and if you looked at the Guardians who beat Skubal, they didn't beat Skubal, but they beat the Tigers when Skubal pitched, is you almost have to outlast them, and you have to have your starting pitcher and your pitcher match them, and that's what the Mariners have done so far. They scored the 1 run. Castillo, great. Spires come in for 4 outs. You just have to do that and hope he gets out of the game, and you have the lead, and your bullpen can hold that lead.
Back to the 4th inning we go with 1 out and the base is empty. Polanco on that slider.
And you can see he's a little late on the fastball. The slider is just a tick slow, 93, 94. And it gives him time to get the head out right there, pull his hands in, pull that ball over the fence.
There's a strike, and it's 1-2. Polanco's OPS is about 50 points better versus right-handers for his career, but this year it was almost 90 points better against lefties than righties. It was a big year for him against left-handers. Facing one of the best in the game right now, it's 2-2.
It's always interesting when they come back up later in the game after they've hit a home run. You're thinking, do I go back to that same pitch and just bury it, or do I go completely away from it?
2-2, and he doubled up on the changeup that time, and Polanco laid off. It's 3-2.
All the pitches he's swung at so far up in the zone. He's taken the balls low. So if you want to exploit that, you raise the fastball a little bit higher.
Payoff pitch to Polanco. Fastball drilled deep left field. Jorge Polanco has done it again. A pair of electric Polanco deliveries tonight. He's gotten Skubal twice now.
Right down the middle, 3-2 count. Skubal tried to go in on him. Does not get it in there like you talked about earlier, Wayno, and it is 2-0 Jorge Polanco.
He was re-signed by Jerry Dipoto on a 1-year, $7 million deal despite the left knee surgery after the year last year. And man, is this veteran re-sign paying dividends tonight in Game 2, a 2-0 lead for Seattle. Playoff Randy, how about playoff Polanco? To the late innings we go, and the Mariners getting 2 pops from Polanco to take a 2-0 lead on Skubal and the Tigers. Now it's Edward Bizzardo who's in for this 7th inning after pitching the final out of the 6th last night. Only threw 3 pitches. He's back out there facing Dylan Dingler to start the 7th, and pours in a couple of strikes to start him. Dingler muscles one coming in on his hands to Naylor. Bizzardo has to go over to cover the bag, and they get the first out of the inning. Jorge Polanco is the first player this year and just the 4th all-time to have 2 home runs against Tarik Skubal in 1 game. The last guy to do it was Paul Goldschmidt in 2021. Zach McKinstry will take a ball around the shoe tops. 1-1. Wayno, you and AJ both kind of said similar things about how this game has played out. And I thought they were apt sentences. If you had said that Luis Castillo only went 4 2/3 and Skubal had only given up 2 runs on a handful of hits, you might think this game was flipped the other way.
Yeah, same way yesterday when Julio and the big dumper had 6 hits combined. You would have thought with a couple RBIs and extra base hit, you would have thought that they had won that game for sure going into it, but that's not the way the game of baseball works. It's about crossing that plate, man.
McKinstry chops one down the first baseline, foul.
And he's not pitched bad. 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs. They're both solo shots. He's got 9 strikeouts. The Mariners, they're making their hits count, though. They're doing exactly what we said the key to them winning this game needed to be.
2-2 pitch, and McKinstry goes fishing. So far, so good from the Seattle bullpen. 6 up and 6 down behind Castillo.
Nasty, nasty slider here from Bizzardo. Bottom just falls out of it. Cal Raleigh, of course, just blocks it so casually for the easy out, and that guy loves it.
Now it's Javi Baez to face Bizzardo. He went after a slider down near the dirt. I was really hoping the crowd would continue the Mo Bamba chant, but can't always get what we want. A ball and a strike, the count on Baez. Baez takes outside. Number 9 pick back in 2011 by the Chicago Cubs. 7.5 years with Chicago, traded to the Mets, and with the Tigers for the last 4 years. Hits one hard towards center. Coming on is Rodriguez, and that will drop in front of him for a base hit. Just the 2nd Detroit Tiger hit of the night, and it's a 2-out single for Baez. T-Mobile, the best network in the game, is now the best network in America. At T-Mobile Park tonight, opened after the All-Star break in July of 1999. Very pitcher-friendly ballpark, even though they moved the fences in about 12 years ago. Still an open-air stadium. The roof is more like an umbrella when it's retracted and closed. You still have the open air coming in through these cutout sections hitters prefer it when the roof is closed because you get just a little less wind. The roof's been open the last 2 nights. There's a breaking ball that drops in from Bizzardo for a strike to Meadows.
One of the best parks in baseball, T-Mobile Park. I was fortunate enough or unfortunate enough to get to play in the old Kingdom before they demolished it. What a difference.
There's a strike. It's 1-2 on Meadows. They are starting to feel it here in Seattle to try to even this series. Still 7 and very difficult outs to go. This bullpen so far has been solid tonight. The 27th out is so hard to get to. Last night it was the 33rd out they had to get to try to win the game in an 11-inning contest won by Detroit. 1-2. Inside. Oh, Bizzardo thought this inning was over, and so did about 40,000 plus.
It's a good take by Meadows. He's taken that all series. The one that starts off the plate and works back to the corner. If you can make that pitch in the corner, he almost always takes it.
Popped up. It is Crawford. And the inning is over. Stretch time in Seattle. They are 6 defensive outs away from evening the series. Bottom of the 7th coming. Game 2 of this American League Division Series, situated on the Isthmus of Seattle. The Emerald City is the site for what has been a well-pitched ball game so far. The Mariners have mustered 4 hits. The Tigers just 2, but the 2 from Polanco have been solo blasts, both off Tarek Skubal, who's gone 6 innings, struck out 9. Castillo did not finish the 5th, but the bullpen's been good so far. And the 2 Polanco blasts have been the difference in this game after a 3-2 Detroit victory in the opener in 11 innings last night. A 2-0 Seattle lead to the bottom of the 7th tonight. Taking a look at StatCast 3D. It's powered by Google Cloud. Here are the 2 home runs from Polanco.
First one was a slider, 2-0. And then the next one was a 3-2 heater. He tried to get in there. Both hit really nicely, and both were no doubters off the bat.
Did you see the overlay too? The exact same spot.
Down to Tom Verducci. What did you see on those 2 home run shots, Tom?
Well, the home runs are impressive. What came before them equally as impressive to me. Watch the changeup that Tarek Skubal throws. Taking those changeups are on the plate and down, gets to a pitch in the zone. Same thing 6th inning. This was actually the 2nd of 2 changeups that he took below the zone to get a pitch in the zone. The changeup of Tarek Skubal is not just his best pitch.
As Josh Naylor bangs one to first to Torkelson, Skubal covers for the first out, Tom.
It is the best pitch in baseball according to run value. I can't say they've taken it away from him, but entering this inning, he's thrown a season-low percentages of changeups. And to me, it's been about not chasing the changeup down out of the zone.
Wayno, you pointed it out, right? In that Polanco at bat, he doubled up on the changeup, and Polanco was able to lay out both times.
Yeah, and both of those home runs were in the exact same location, and all the pitches that he swung at today were up in the zone. And I think had he got that fastball to where he wanted to at the very top and in, I think you have a different result. But where he pulls his bat in or his hands in right there, that's his zone.
And AJ, to your point, what AJ Hinch talked about, this is not surprising to the Tigers because of their knowledge of what Seattle is good at.
Exactly. They've hit the changeup and the changeup of Skubal. But the key here is their pitching.
Hard hit ball by Garver, and that's through for the 5th Seattle hit against Skubal tonight. It's a 1-out single in the 7th.
The Tigers have 2 hits. They've gotten a runner to 3rd, but nobody, the greatest pitcher on earth, can't win if your team scores 0. And the Mariners have done an amazing job holding this Tigers lineup down. And they've gotten to Skubal just enough right now to get to the bottom of the 7th with a 2-run lead.
Pinch runner is in the game For Seattle, it's Luke Raley, who was in the game last night as a pinch hitter for Seattle. He pinch hit for Victor Robles last night and went 0 for 2. He's going to come in and pinch run here for Garver. They'll slot him as the new DH. And now Robles in the 8th spot hitting will come to the plate against Skubal. A walk and a fly out to his name tonight. Slightly in at third, McKinstry expecting a bunt. Robles puts it down, but it's foul.
I like that play. I like it a lot.
What are you thinking about there?
You're trying to put some pressure on him. Get somebody in a scoring position, take a shot, maybe push it past the pitcher over there. You can tell he's trying to bump for a hit there. He's not sacrificed with 1 out. But people don't realize the pressure that gets on pitchers when there's somebody in scoring position, how that changes your mindset at times.
Oof, there's that nasty slider, all that movement, and Robles has to dance out of the way and ends up on the first base side of the field.
I love fans are booing right there.
Yeah. I mean, it's a slider, but it's still 94.
No, but I just love that the fans are booing like Tarik Skubal's trying to hit him right there.
Oof, there's the changeup, 1 and 2.
And that's the thing. I mean, whether they hit it well or not, they don't hit them well located, and you can't get out of who you are as a pitcher. He's got to keep being Tarik Skubal. He can't stop throwing that pitch at all. I mean, he's got to use it. It's his best pitch. It sets up so nicely with his fastball.
Popped up. A little jam shot towards first, and Torkelson's got it for the second out.
It's tough to hit 88, paint down and away, change up, and then 98 on your hands. That's tough sledding.
Hey, give the Mariners credit. The entire season, this is the 3rd time they faced Tarik Skubal. They beat him the first 2 times, and they're in line right here to beat him for a 3rd time.
Here's J.P. Crawford, who's got a bunt single tonight. One of the 5 Seattle hits, one of the 7 hits overall in this game. Nobody has played more games at shortstop in a Seattle uniform than J.P. Crawford. Past our colleague Alex Rodriguez for that mark. Back up the middle to shortstop Baez to his left. Nice sliding play to get J.P. Crawford, and that retires the side. Skubal has finished 7. Baez is smiling. We're going to the 8th. It's 2-0. Let's take a look at Fox Foresight, powered by Google Cloud, as the Detroit Tigers just a 1 out of 5 chance to score 2 runs the rest of this game. They did have 5 comeback wins when trailing after 7. Both of these teams were in a ton of close games, and both for the most part were very good in those close games. It's up to the bullpens seemingly for both teams now, as Skubal finished 7, and now Seattle goes to its 3rd reliever of the night, Matt Brash, who pitched against the middle of the Tigers order in the 8th inning yesterday. He's got to face 3 batters, including 2 lefties due up in this inning with the top of the Tiger order. It's Torres and then the lefties Carpenter and Green.
Well, he's in because of his slider and also the ERA, but his slider is one of the best pitches going. And I think that Dan Wilson doesn't care. Righty, lefty. He's been my 8th inning guy all year. We're going with him, and if we get to the 9th, in will come Munoz.
Two and 2. Torres has one of the 2 Tigers hits tonight. It was a 2-out single in the 5th, the last man that Luis Castillo faced. Only other hit came in the 7th against Bizzardo. Tarik Skubal getting all the handshakes. You expect him at 97 pitches to be done for the night. Certainly seems like he is.
Yeah, I think he did a great job. 7 innings, 5 hits, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts, 2 solo shots. I mean, that's what ace pitchers do right there. He's given his team a great chance to win this game. That's really all you can ask for.
Now it's up to the Tigers offense to try to bounce back, and it's up to the Seattle bullpen, a taxed bullpen at that, to finish it off. There's the slider, and Torres lays off to run the count full.
This is an important pitch right here, Waino.
Yes.
You need to get him out. You need to get Torres the righty out as he takes a really nasty slider. You go slider here, your best pitch? I think you do. You don't challenge him with a fastball.
How do you take that?
Torres lifts a slider down the right field line, and that's out of play for Robles.
I mean, that slider was on the plate the entire time until the very last second. That is such a professional take.
Well, Gleyber Torres just happy he's not getting high fastballs because that's been his kryptonite so far. So he's thinking, I can handle sliders right now.
Payoff pitch with a fastball, seemingly. I don't know, looked like a fastball. It didn't really break. It looked like it was staying inside if it was a slider. Kind of a weird catch off the glove of Raleigh there. Either way, it's a walk.
And the dreaded
leadoff
walk.
Ugh.
Yep. It cost him last night in the 11th. Mariners fans are hoping it will not cost them tonight. But again, now here comes the meat.
Kerry Carpenter takes a strike. Hit the huge home run to give Detroit a short-lived lead in the middle innings last night. Hit the big home run in Game 2 of the American League Division Series off Emmanuel Clase last year.
I want to go back to that 2-2 take again, because that was the reason that he overthought and tried to overspin that 3-2 pitch, because he took that one that was just off the plate and he knew he had to come in the zone.
Not an easy one to lay off of. There's that slider, swing and a miss. Take a breath. Even the noise feels a little apprehensive. These Mariner fans. There's nerves and excitement combined. Oh, and Carpenter fought off that slider. Almost looked like he was going to be out in front of it for a second, and then he ended up making contact.
Well, all he's seen is sliders. You saw the one changeup, but that was a non-competitive changeup. He has seen slider after slider in this at bat, and that is one he wishes he had back.
Yeah, he wasn't fighting that one off. he was trying to drive that one, buddy.
2-2 pitch to Carpenter is lashed foul the other way.
Wouldn't you think about just throwing a high heat?
Yep.
Well, I don't know about a high heater to Carpenter, but some sort of a heater just to reset his brain?
Definitely.
You see nothing but slow, 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 slow.
If he could paint him a fastball away right here, that would be really good.
3-2. Already 15 pitches from Brash after he threw 17 to get 2 outs last night.
So I'll ask again, do you go slider here 3-2? It's your best pitch. You throw it 60% of the time?
Definitely.
60% of the time, it works.
Yeah, and he went with the slider again, and it worked because he started it off the plate. Ball to strike. It was a ball out of the hand. And he had already zoom balled a couple of balls away that were balls out of the hand, so he was able to freeze him with it.
Now Riley Green fouls away a slider.
If that ball starts middle and works in, he's on go. But because he started it off the plate, the same area where he had already zoom balled a couple of fastballs out there, was ball out of the hand right away. He took it.
Strike 2 on a changeup. Generous call from Rehak, but it puts Brash ahead 0-2. Oh man, that slider was coming back over the corner, and Green just fought it off. Man, postseason bullpens, man. Velocity and movement are off the charts these days. 0-2 on Green. Slider grounded to first. It's off the glove of Naylor. It rolls to Polanco. He flips late, and everybody's safe. Naylor couldn't squeeze it cleanly. All that spin from the slider and then the grounder ends up putting Green at first. On to second goes Torres.
Well, I think that Naylor was thinking about what was he going to do with that ball, whether he was going to go to second or just touch the base and take the out. But you see he goes down on knee, keeps it in front of him, which helps. But he brings his glove up just enough, and it's a small opening here for the Tigers. Tough hop for Naylor, but one, if you ask him, I'm pretty sure he'll say he should have had.
So it's Pete Woodworth out to check with the infield. A quick reminder that tomorrow National League takes the center stage with a doubleheader. Dodgers and Phillies, then Cubs and Brewers on TBS in those game twos. Then Tuesday we'll have game 3 on the American League side on FS1. Mariners and Tigers, 3 Eastern, noon Pacific on Tuesday, followed by Blue Jays and Yankees. Josh Naylor only committed 1 error with Seattle this year. That is an error and a fielder's choice. 2 aboard for Torkelson. The tying runs are on base for Detroit. Big swing on a slider, 0-1.
I can't imagine Torkelson gets anything but sliders here. Keep it away. Throw that slider down and away.
Right there.
Big situations. Hitters want to be aggressive. They want to be the hero. If your best pitch is a slider like that, make them chase, right, Wayno?
Yeah.
Torkelson chases a slider, 1-2.
The pitch before was just about the exact same one he just went after right there. So that makes you wonder, is he just kind of guessing up there right now? He's to offer at one and not at another.
Two-strike pitch. Another slider, 2-2.
That was a ball out of the hand. That was why it was an easier take. If he throws the strike to ball, he'll get a swing right here. And if you're Torkelson as a hitter, you just got to be thinking right center, right field, right field. Yes, you want to be a hero and hit a home run, but a base hit to right is just as valuable at this point.
2-2 pitch. The other way. It's a fair ball down the right field line. Torres will score. Here comes Green into third. Joey Cora giving him the wave. Here's the throw. It's cut off, and this game is tied. The third base coach, Cora, gesticulating wildly as Green scores from first. Exactly what you guys thought would happen, and Torkelson ties it.
Well, first of all, why'd he throw him a heater? Then he threw it in by mistake.
Yep.
And Torkelson, great job. Because he's looking for a heater, he stays on that ball, and because the ball gets stuck down under the fence. I don't know what you just said, Adam. I don't know what that word meant, but he was waving him home. Joey Cora the whole way.
Gesticulating?
Gesticulating. First pitch swinging Wencel Perez fouls it. And guys, what did you guys say when Torres was able to get aboard to start this inning?
Yes.
The dreaded leadoff walk plus the Naylor error. Perez fouls it, 0-2.
I mean, I'll just keep going back to that 2-2 pitch. It was such a big take, buddy.
By Torres, right?
Yes.
But I asked you, why would you throw him a heater?
Nah.
He's beat. Okay, listen, he is beat. But again, because he's thinking slider, 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 he stays inside of it and shoots it to right. That's why I asked you. You would never throw him a heater.
There's called strike 3 on a changeup. Perez watches it go by for the second out. That'll bring up Dingler with the go-ahead run sitting in scoring position. Naylor with one of the miscues in this frame for Seattle.
Yeah, leadoff walk and error by one of the best fielding first basemen in the game.
There's a strike to Dingler.
And all of a sudden, Tarik Skubal's off the hook. Yep. He was in line for a loss. He is off the hook. His team has picked him up. So far, they've tied this score, and now it becomes a real battle of the bullpens again, like it was last night.
Yep. Now Brash trying to limit the damage to just 2 with Green waiting at second base after that 2-run double. Torkelson, beg your pardon. Did he go? He did. He gets Dingler, but Torkelson delivers. The fastball, the surprising pitch, and Joey Cora, the former Mariner, sending them all home. This game is tied to the bottom of the 8th in Game 2 in Seattle. What a series. Torkelson scored the eventual game-winning run in last night's 11-inning affair. He drives in a pair in the 8th to tie it and take Tarek Skubal off the hook. Kyle Finnegan to Randy Arozarena, and a first pitch splitter is swung on and missed.
Well, A.J. Hinch said he wanted to stay away from Finnegan if he could, but tie game of a playoff series, got a chance to go up 2-0 on the road to go home. He's going to one of his best relievers right now for the heart of this Mariners order.
Finnegan pitched the 8th yesterday as well. He faced Crawford, got him to fly out, got Arozarena to fly out, gave up a Cal Raleigh single, and then struck out Julio Rodriguez to end that frame. Is 1-1, and Arozarena waves again at a splitter and misses. Finnegan just 15 pitches last night to get through the 8th.
Well, the one thing that A.J. Hinch loves about Kyle Finnegan against this meat of the Mariners order is his split finger. Against Raleigh, against Julio, and even against Arozarena. He loves the action on that.
Goes back to it, uses that pitch almost 40% of the time in conjunction with the fastball, about 58-59% of the time. Arozarena's got a hit in 3 trips. Just 8 combined hits between the teams tonight. Randy waves and misses at that splitter. Saw a handful of them in that at bat, and he goes down swinging. Well, next Sunday coming up on Fox, Dak and the Cowboys will take on the Panthers. I'll be in Charlotte with Greg Olson for that game. You'll also see a handful of other ones, including the Rams and the Ravens, who have been banged up these last couple of weeks. Check your local listings for the game in your area. Cal Raleigh 0 for 3 tonight, has struck out twice, once on a changeup and then once on a fastball, both against Tarek Skubal, who went 7 innings allowing 2 solo homers and will not get a decision tonight. Hard hit ball by Raleigh down the right field line towards the corner, and the big dumper is looking for extra bases, and he's got a double.
A little split. Talked about how A.J. Hinch loved the matchup, but when you see a guy 2 nights in a row and you see the same pitch over and over again. Cal Raleigh got a hit, broke his bat last night off Finnegan, but tonight he squares it up, and now he's in scoring position for Julio.
Rodriguez takes ball 1. Line drive down the line. That's a foul ball, and the Mariners take the lead. Julio Rodriguez has come up clutch yet again. The emotions pouring through the Pacific Northwest. Rodriguez has put Seattle in front. Here's Polanco. Ball 1. Raleigh and then Rodriguez. Back-to-back extra base hits to put Seattle in front. They've waited 24 years to see their team win a home playoff game. They've taken the lead here in the 8th inning, and they're 3 defensive outs away. Polanco with a multi-home run game tonight, looking to add on with Rodriguez in scoring position. The 2-0. Went around 2-1.
Well, we know he's a great down ball hitter. He gets a split, starts belt high and works just above the knee, stays down through it, drives it down the line. These Stars, you said it earlier, AJ, these Stars needed to come out to play today, and they're showing up in a big way right now in this 8th inning.
But again, same pitcher, same pitch, 2 nights in a row. You see it repeatedly. This is what happens in these series when you see bullpens over and over and over again. You start to get a little better idea what their pitches do each time. And last night, Raleigh saw Finnegan, all splits. Tonight, Julio again sees Finnegan for the 2nd night in a row, gets a lot of splits, and they both didn't miss them.
Two balls and a strike. Polanco breaks his bat, rolls it towards short, left side, cut off by McKinstry. There's no play. Rodriguez to 3rd. Runners at the corners with only 1 out. And Polanco is having the night of his playoff life. Everything's going his way.
Great night for Polanco. Just gets sawed off right here. Perfect placement because of the little mini shift. There's nobody there. 49.7 exit velo, and the bat went farther than the ball did, I believe.
Oh, man. Yikes, watch out. What a moment in Seattle. Julio Rodriguez, the 24-year-old from the Dominican Republic, who left his family at the age of 14 to go to a baseball academy. 2 years later, signed with the Mariners in July of 2017, debuted in April of 2022. Battled his way through injuries last year and came back as strong as ever this season. And one of the biggest hits of the Mariners season has put Seattle in front. It's 3-2. Coming up after the game, you can stay tuned for the post-game show on FS1, presented by Strauss. Here's Suarez. Ball 1.
How much longer do you let him go, AJ?
This is his last hitter. Naylor on deck. You got Herder in the bullpen. This is it.
There's Suarez waiting for a 1-0 with 2 on and 1 out. 2 balls and no strikes. Back and forth we go in the late innings.
Green light him right here. If you're Dan Wilson, I green light Gino Suarez. I would not be shocked if Finnegan throws him a split right here, but if he throws him a heater, you want him to try and hit a 3-run homer, make this game 6-2.
Green light, swing and a miss.
Whew. Right on cue. That's what a 3-0 hack is supposed to look like right there. This is not thinking about hitting a single to right. This is thinking about hitting one off the scoreboard.
Still a hitter's count for Eugenio Suarez. Runner from first takes off, and that's fouled back. Polanco will head back to first.
He had that stolen too.
Yeah, but 3-1, you want the you normally the runner
gotta let him swing. Yeah.
The runner will look at you and say, "Why'd you swing?" 3-1 right there. You let him swing.
You let your slugger with 49 homers hit right there.
Oh, another slugger on deck in Naylor. Ground ball to third. Rodriguez coming home. The throw from McKinstry will get him in time, and it keeps it at a 1-run game. Fielder's choice goes 5-2. Polanco on to second. Safe at first is Suarez, and that will be it for Finnegan. With a left-hander coming up. What a wild last inning it's been. Mariners have the lead by a run. '25 American League Division Series on FS1 presented by Booking.com. And after the Tigers score a pair in the 8th inning to tie it in the bottom half of the 8th inning, a 1-out double from the dumper, and then the kid Julio Rodriguez, J-Rod. This homegrown talent sending all sorts of emotional shock through T-Mobile Park for this starving fan base that is trying to advance to the American League Championship Series for the first time in 24 years. But right now they're just trying to even this American League Division Series at 1 apiece. 2 on, 2 out for the lefty Brant Herter, who's facing the left-hander Josh Naylor. Runners at first and second for Naylor. Herter was the first reliever behind Melton yesterday. He pitched a scoreless 5th.
Oh, no.
First pitch sweeper misses outside, although they're going to say that he went around. Third base umpire and crew chief Alan Porter makes it strike 1.
Yeah, he went. Huge play, though, before the pitching change. First of all, the stolen base attempt kept him out of a double play, but a nice play by McKinstry to keep this a 1-run game on the ground ball right to him.
There is a pinch runner, by the way, 2 at second base. There he is. That's Leo Rivas. He checks in for Polanco at second. Suarez still at first. It's still a 1-run ball game. All of these plays are so magnified. Every pitch has been magnified. We've broken down back-to-back changeups, surprise fastballs, slider after slider after splitter after splitter. Every pitch with such weight. And a 3-2 ball game in the bottom of the 8th inning, which Herter is trying to end right now. Naylor with plenty on his mind. He is right now expecting a child with his wife Chantel. His availability for the series could be in question at any point if he has to go on the impending paternity leave. But standing in for this 1-2, and he chops it foul up the line at first. Chantel, a Latin singer and songwriter, who's had some solid success as a musician. The Naylor family, a great athletic family, of course. Brother Bo was eliminated by these Detroit Tigers. Cleveland Guardians catcher. Josh looking for perhaps a little familial revenge. Their younger brother Miles plays for the Athletics right now too. Very talented family. Pops one off on a golf shot. Sandwiches it up towards second, and Torres. Raleigh and Rodriguez team up to give the Mariners the lead, and off to the 9th we go in Seattle. Coming up after the game, Matt Vasgersian and company will have the post-game show on FS1 presented by Strauss. They're going to have plenty to talk about after the Blue Jays offense continues to roll. They have a 2-0 series lead on the Yankees. Here in Seattle, the Tigers took game 1. Seattle has taken the lead in game 2. And Andres Munoz, who recorded 6 outs last night, a season high, will try to go back-to-back to even the series, and he pours in a strike to McKinstry. Rivas stays in the game at second base. Polanco done. McKinstry down 0-2. McKinstry waves and misses. He's tagged. One away.
I think we were kind of all wondering what the stuff was going to be like after a lot of pitches yesterday. Seemingly, it's okay. Came out through a first pitch, bullet fastball strike, and then followed up with two very nasty sliders down and in.
Here's Javi Baez. Big cut. 0-1 on a slider.
This is the one he's got to execute right here to Javi. He can't leave this middle in.
Otherwise, that quick bat could tie this game. He pops it up. Rivas makes the catch. 2 down. Dan Wilson hoping for his first playoff win. Tigers down to their last chance here in the top of the 9th inning. They're 1 out away from their first playoff victory in nearly a quarter century. Here's Parker Meadows. Ball 1.
This is the guy you want if you're Munoz. I know it's a 1-run lead. You don't want to turn the lineup over to the top. 9-hole hitter, go right after him, make him beat you.
Line 2-0. The 2-0. Waved on and missed. 2-1. Strike 2. Fouled back by Meadows to stay alive. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The pitch. Fouled away again by Meadows. Eight outs recorded so far in this series. The most he's ever had on back-to-back days is 8. He's 1 strike away from tying the series. The pitch. Just got a piece in Meadows.
That was the perfect pitch, Adam, because he was under the last couple sliders he threw down. Meadows was going down, trying to get under those balls. The fastball up was the right call. Meadows just got just enough to keep it out of the glove.
Another 2-2. Count runs full. Another quality at bat from the 9-hitter Meadows. We've seen a lot of those in this postseason. 3-2. Bouncing ball to Naylor. Flips and finishes it. Their first playoff win in 24 years. The Mariners have tied the series at 1. Since the clincher against Cleveland nearly a quarter century ago. And Seattle, the team and the city, can breathe a collective sigh of relief as they will head to the Motor City tied up at a game apiece with the Detroit Tigers. We lock in on our player profile sponsored by Liberty Mutual. The stars had to be the stars, and they needed some support. That was the case today for the Mariners.
Cal Raleigh and Julio Rodriguez, huge hits in the 8th inning, and Jorge Polanco. What else can you say? 2 homers, 2 RBIs off Tarek Skubal. This series is tied.
Yeah, both starting pitchers did what they needed to do. It all came down to getting that opportune hit at the right time. The big guys came through when they needed to.
They had to go on the road to Toronto 3 years ago to win a series. They couldn't win the series against Houston. They come back home and finally get a home playoff win to tie this series at 1 apiece. Off to the studio and Matt Vasgersian.
Yes. Okay, here we go. Thanks, Matt. Julio Rodriguez, it's the 8th inning. Cal Raleigh is on second base. Kyle Finnegan on the mound. You saw him last night. Tell me what you were thinking as you walked to home plate.
I was just, trying to get a good pitch to hit, and, he let us play a little bit.
God bless you. Double pro. I'm on this sound fairly no. DJ Softy man. I'm on you be. Idiot no. Love what you give to me. It's sweet past you got cane. I not go like you dey hide me past cocaine. See the way she just the wine. She the one pass up piano do. I swear to God, now she dey do me do. Comforting, give me love again. Give me love again. If you give me love again, I will never go away. Comforting, give me love again. Give me love again. If you don't give me love again, you go make me go insane. Comforting, yeah. Yeah, comfort your mama no more so. Yeah, comforting reloki me. Yeah, combo no be reisa. Yeah, comforting, yeah. Yeah, comfort your mama no more so. Yeah, comforting reloki me. My baby too fine, no, now so she dey beautiful. Anytime I see her face, you, I go just tell a fool. Now because of you, my guys them they call me big fool. Big fool, man. See the way she soft to you, she be like foo. Comforting, give me love again. Give me love again. If you give me love again, I will never go away. Comforting, give me love again. Give me love again. If you don't give me love again, you gon' make me go insane. Comforting, yeah. Yeah, comfort your mama no more so. Yeah, comforting reloki me. Yeah, combo no be reisa. Yeah, comforting, yeah. Yeah, comfort your mama no more so. Yeah, comforting reloki me. Yeah, combo no be reisa. Double pro. Yeah, God bless you know. I'm on this song, yeah. Double pull on the missing. Yeah, DJ Softy man. I see you. I'm on this song, yeah.
Как тяжко мертвецу среди людей, живым и страстным притворяться. Но надо в общество втираться, скрывая для карьеры лязг костей. Живые спят, мертвец встает из гроба, и в банк идет, и в суд идет, в сенат. Чем ночь белее, тем чернее злоба, и перья торжествующе скрипят. Мертвец весь день трудится над докладом, присутствие кончается, и вот нашептывает он, виляя Как тяжко мертвецу среди людей, живым и страстным притворяться. Но надо в общество втираться, скрывая для карьеры лязг костей. Живые спят, мертвец встает из гроба, и в банк идет, и в суд идет, и в сенат. Чем ночь белее, тем чернее злоба, и перья торжествующе скрипят. Мертвец весь день трудится над докладом, присутствие кончается, и вот нашептывает он, виляя задом, сумато русско-брезный анекдот. Уж вечер мелкий дождь зашлепал грязью прохожих и дома и прочий вздор. А мертвеца трудом и безобразию скрежещущий несет так за мотор.
Вы стоите на моем пути, такая живая, такая красивая, но такая измученная. Говорите все печально, думаете о смерти, никого не любите и презираете свою красоту. Что ж, разве я обижу вас? О нет, ведь я не насильник, не обманщик и не гордец. Хотя много знаю, слишком много думаю с детства и слишком занят собой. Ведь я сочинитель, человек, называющий все по имени, отнимающий аромат у живого цветка. Сколько не говорите о печальном, сколько не размышляете о концах и началах, все же я смею думать, что вам только 15 лет.